Alright, so, now Odysseus has dealt with the Cyclops. The Cyclops has fucked over Odysseus for the rest of the entire story. So, all that's left for Odysseus to do is go sail over to the island of the god of the winds, Aeolus. Now, Aeolus is like, oh, Odysseus, old buddy, here, I'm gonna give you some sweet winds to get you back to Ithaca, and I'm gonna give you a bag of all the other winds ever. So Odysseus is like, oh, mega sweet, I'm gonna be home in like 15 minutes. So he gets on his boat with all his dudes. The winds blow him almost back home, and all of his men are like, man, I wonder what's in that bag. I bet it's totally not winds like the god of the fucking winds told us it was. Let's open it up and spill out all of the beautiful gems and gold that I'm sure are inside. And Odysseus is like, no, dudes, it's wind. Just fucking trust me, it's wind. I don't even know why we have all of the wind in this bag. We're already on our way home. And the guys are like, no, we're gonna open it. And they open it, and then all the winds come out and makes this huge fucking storm, and it blows them all the fuck back to the island of Aeolus, luckily. Not destroying them, but bringing them back to the island where they started from. So Aeolus is like, hey guys, what are you doing back so soon? And Odysseus is like, well, my men fucked up and used up all the wind, and now we're here again. Can you give us some more wind? And Aeolus is like, fuck no, clearly the gods hate you, and you need to just figure this out on your own. So Odysseus is like, great, fine. So gets on his boat. There are more storms. I told you there are a lot of storms in this fucking story. So the storms take him to an island called Aiaia, which is inhabited by this witch Kirke. So first, Odysseus sends out like a bunch of his dudes ahead, like red shirts in Star Trek, and they're on their way up to this fucking castle that's up there, and they go up there, and Kirke's like, hey guys, what's up, you want some drugs? And they're like, we totally want some drugs, we're still in heroin withdrawal from the Lotus Eaters. And she's like, here, have these drugs. So they eat them, and they turn into pigs, and then she feeds them to the rest of Odysseus' men, who show up to find out what happened to the first group of Odysseus' men. Then Odysseus is sitting alone on the boat, like, I wonder what happened to all of my men. I bet they're not totally being turned into pigs and fed to each other. So I'm gonna go up and check out what's going on. So on the way up, Hermes comes down and is like, okay, I gotta fucking stop this shit. Odysseus, hey, there's a witch up there, and she's turning your men into pigs and feeding them to each other. And Odysseus is like, wow, that's the exact thing I thought wasn't happening. What do I do? And Hermes is like, well, basically when she offers you drugs, don't take them, then punch her in the uterus. So Odysseus is like, sweet, that's exactly what I'll do. And he does exactly that. And Kirke rewards him by sleeping with him for a solid year. At the end of the year, all of Odysseus' men are like, Odysseus, I see you're getting your dick wet and everything, but you really need to get us home. And Odysseus is like, alright, well, I guess you're right. Bye, Kirke. And Kirke's like, you don't want to have sex with me for one more night? And Odysseus is like, I guess I want to have sex with you for one more night. So they have sex for one more night. And then in the morning, after everybody's done getting super rough and rowdy drunk, they wake up, and the sound of them waking up wakes up this one dude on the roof who was like passed out up there, and he falls off and he breaks his neck and dies, thus concluding the lamest death in the entire Odyssey. So then they all get back on the boat, and they head out, and they go to an island, and they do some rites to summon all of the dudes that are inside Hades, because apparently that is the next vital step for Odysseus getting back to Ithaca, because he needs to see Tiresias, who's Dick, and Tiresias happens to be dead. So the first person he sees is the guy who fell off the roof back on Aiaia. And that guy's like, dude, you need to go back to that island and bury me properly, even though I'm a fucking dumbass who got myself killed. And Odysseus is like, alright, that sounds okay. So then Tiresias shows up, and Odysseus is like, hey, Tiresias, you hermaphroditic blind prophet motherfucker, you know how I can get home? And Tiresias is like, well, what I can tell you is you'll get home eventually, and if you ever run across the cows belonging to the sun, don't look at them, don't touch them, especially don't eat them, or you're going to get double fucked both ways up the yin-yang. And Odysseus is like, alright, well, that sounds like a good idea. I mean, they are the cows belonging to the sun. And Tiresias is like, damn right, they're the cows belonging to the sun. And Odysseus is like, alright, I'm going to head back to Kirke's island, bury the guy, and bang Kirke again for a while. And what happens next is a story for another time.